I'm so glad to be here in London, launching both my book, Seraphim Blueprint, and the system, Seraphim Blueprint, which the book is named after. You're very lucky to be in the presence of a very high angel, a seraph of the seraphim. I know a lot of people don't know what seraphim are. They're the highest order of angels according to the Judaic Christian tradition. I was not aware of any of this 24 years ago when I was living in Berkeley, California, and I had a small white stone that had been an egg-shaped stone that had been given to me by a school actually in Yeovil, Somerset, England. The school existed between 1985 to 1990, and it was a mystical school of some sort. I was based at that time, I was teaching university in Tokyo, Japan, and the school was introduced to me by someone I met, an American I met in Tokyo. It was a very intriguing school. It wasn't specifically spiritual. It was more based on health, improving one's health. And it provided me with a small stone they called an opener. I don't travel with that stone anymore. It's very precious to me, so it's at my home in North Carolina. But they also provided me with a pendulum. And by 1989, I met the school and dealt with the school in late 1987, and by 1989, I was becoming very proficient in using a pendulum as a psychic device. I'm not clairvoyant, I'm not clairaudient, but I am clairsentient, which a pendulum is very useful in those terms. So by 1989, I was quite psychic, and I moved home from Tokyo, Japan to Sydney, Australia. I was based there for about 3 years, and then I returned to the United States. My original home is America. And I had this white, very small egg-shaped stone. It's about 1 inch long. And it vibrated in my hand, and I had no idea why the stone was vibrating way after the school in Yeovil, Somerset, England closed. So when the school closed down, I was expecting all energies from the school to end as well. But for whatever reason, the stone was vibrating, and I couldn't hold it for more than about 5 minutes at the time. So I wondered about that, and I went home I ended up staying in Berkeley, California, living there from 1993, 94 until 2001. And I was always looking for, well, why is this energy still being emitted by this stone? I was told by my spirit guides that it was related to Atlantis. That's all they would impart to me. They didn't tell me anything else. So I was curious, and Berkeley, California is pretty much the heart of the New Age movement in the United States of America, if not the world. And therefore, I was looking around for somebody to tell me more about the connections. And such a person appeared. He announced in a local newspaper, that he was giving a crystal healing workshop, and he was giving a free introduction to that crystal healing workshop. So I went to it thinking it might be related to Atlantis, and he gave us all crystals to hold in our hands, and then standing in the front of the room like I am with this group, he was able to change the energy of the crystal in each of our hands, and that was so fantastic. I was so amazed. Here he is standing in front of the room, and the energy was changing like that. So he had a break in the experience, And in that break, I went up to him. I got brave, and I went up to him. He had previously been a professor of mathematics at the University of California, State University in San Francisco. And so I asked him, I said, I have a stone at home. I didn't bring the stone with me. I have it at home. And I wondered if there's a connection to Atlantis. And he was shorter than I am. And so standing in front of him, he was looking up at me, but then above my head and behind me. And I thought, what's that? And he didn't answer me right away. And he said to me, there's this huge angel standing behind you, and he's telling me that you and I need to work together or come together to bring out a school that existed in Atlantean times and has been dormant for the last at least 2,000 years, if not more. I mean, Atlantis was 13,000 years ago. But the school was revived a bit in early Hebrew times in Palestine, and that is possibly the basis of the Kabbalah, the origins of the Kabbalah at that time. So he was telling us that he wanted to work with us to bring out that knowledge, to bring out that energy that was existent at that point in time. I was thrilled with the idea of working with him. I was totally taken. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know this man at all. I ended up going to his house 1 month, and then he'd come to my house the next month. And the angel, this man, this former professor, was clairaudient and clairvoyant. He could see the angel, and he could hear the angel speak. So I took notes. That's my job for 1.5 years. I took notes on what he had, what he was telling us, what he was downloading into our body. I eventually called this experience angelic software, angelic downloads. They had a systematic development. They built on one another. There was like over 100 initiations. I mean, now I would say there's maybe 300 in the system, initiations in the system. They build on each other. And tonight, you're lucky enough, if you have the time, I will share with you one of those initiations after the question and answer period. So that would be the first initiation that the angel shared with me and with him. This was an amazing, amazing experience. After 1.5 years, though, the other person, the professor, said, I'm too busy with other projects. I've been told by my guides that this is for you and not for me. And I said, really? Oh, that's terrible, because all I was the secretary. And so he said, well, you've got enough energy now. You don't need any more. I said, oh, I'm sad, that's not nice about it. I knew it was his final decision. He was very definite about that. So I said I was very glad that we had worked together. I thanked him very much for his contribution, introducing me to the seraph. He didn't know it was a seraph. I didn't know it was a seraph. A month later, I sat down, got out my pendulum, tried to figure out whether the angel would work with me alone, and how. Would he work through the pendulum, which is a process of elimination. It involves my thinking clearly. It involves a sensory connection to this angel. And by the way, the angel is present here right now, in case you don't notice or haven't figured that out yet. So he not only said that I'm willing to work with you, he shared his name with me. And I'm not normally clairvoyant. And he wrote his name in Roman characters right in front of my eyes, my open eyes, if I remember. And I couldn't believe that what I was seeing. And he said, yes, that's my name, when I asked him through the pendulum. And then I said, what kind of angel are you? And he said, I'm a seraph of the seraphim. And I was so overwhelmed by that information. I already knew that the seraphim were the highest order of angels in the galaxy. and I was completely overwhelmed. But he said, it's okay, I'm going to work with you, you know. And I started channeling more of the system. So at that point, there were probably about 24 initiations. And then over the next 10 years, I channeled another 75 or 80 or 100 initiations from this angel. And he always comes when I call him. And he's really huge. He's very, very large. Maybe in terms of human terms, he's like 25 feet tall. He wouldn't fit into this space exactly, but I don't know if any of you tonight will see him, but if you do, you can tell me later, you know, in the question and answer period, or if you feel him, or if he's touching you, or something like that. He's really special that way. So, the book came out in 2007. I started writing the book in 2002. Up to the point I was writing this, I called the system Atlantean Angel Healing. But when we felt, or the angel felt, it had to have the word seraphim in the system. So he told me, please work on creating a name for the system that includes the word seraphim. And I said, sure. And so it took me about a year to come up with Seraphim Blueprint. And then we created a website, and seraphimblueprint.org, seraphimblueprint.com, Seraphim Healing. We have quite a few websites related to the system. And we're on Facebook, and we're on all the social media, and, you know, you can find us. And this book is now translated first into Japanese, because I'm fluent in Japanese, then into German, and finally into Turkish so far. We don't have any other translations in the works, but the introduction was done by the co-author of Ask Your Angels, a very famous angel book. Andrew Raymer wrote the introduction to the book. I'm very grateful to him for doing that. And it's a very easy read. I hope some of you can purchase the book tonight. I think there are 10 copies here available for purchase. This is an absolutely wonderful system. It starts out, I divided, you know, I had these 150 initiations, and I didn't know how to organize them. But somebody in California suggested, how about organizing them into workshops? And so that's what I ended up doing. I ended up organizing them into 6 levels, 6 major workshops. And the first level is called Seraphim Healing, and it consists of about 12 initiations, takes about 1 day to complete the workshop. At the end of that day, you are a healer of 2 kinds of energies. You're a healer of physical healing, and you're a healer of emotional healing at the end of that 1-day experience. And you have both of those gifts through your hands. You are empowered, basically, through these angelic downloads that come in 6-minute installations that are so amazing to experience just going through them, you know, just experiencing the energies as the Seraph downloads them. The closest experience to this would be like a meditation, but this is not a meditation. Meditations are guided by your own, you know, your own sort of direction. This is being guided by an angel who directly, not through me, but directly from him to you, downloads the energies into your body. And they are stored there for your availability whenever it is you want to use them. They have very specific purposes. They're very powerful. You can use them to heal yourself, which was the first experience I had with this energy, is that I could, for the first time in my life, I could use my own hands to heal my own problems. And that was quite unusual because it's pretty well known that healers cannot work on themselves. That is the usual, understanding. But this is quite a bit different. Use your own hands to heal yourself. So you can heal yourself, your family, your friends, your pets, the energy at your office. I'm sure that's very important to some of you. And one of the initiations in the first level is to actually put in an energy grid into a space, either temporarily or permanently or conditionally. And this is very amazing experience. This is one of the most powerful things you will get in the first workshop. That is basically that level is basically the most practical level of the Seraphim Blueprint. From that point forward, it's more spiritual development. The second level is Seraphim Sacred Geometry. The third level is Seraphim Manifestation. The fourth level is Seraphim Cosmic Splendor. The fifth level is Seraphim Planetary Healing. Level 6 is Seraphim Grace and Union. So it's a very complete system in the 6 levels. There will not be any more levels to the system, but there are quite a few branches branching out in different directions from the system. Very, very creative students, and they have come up with all kinds of additional workshops and energies. And I always say to them, slow down, slow down. We don't need all that extra stuff. But the Seraph approves it occasionally, the extra courses. And we could practically be a university at this point. I'm hoping in the future we have land and we have a little school of some sort. I don't know where in the world. But we have a lot of students in Turkey. We have a lot of students in Japan. We have a lot of students in the United States. And we have about 4 students in the United Kingdom.
Oh my God.
So you are the future of the Seraphim. You sitting here are the future of the Seraphim Blueprint in the United Kingdom. It hasn't established here yet, and that's why I'm launching it tonight in this venue at the Watkins bookstore. I'm very, very thankful to Watkins for giving me the time and the space to hold this experience. And now maybe you want to ask me some questions, and that might be the next appropriate thing here to do. The question is, how long is the training for becoming a fully qualified healer? Is that your question? The training is 1 day to become a fully qualified healer. We do have advanced Seraphim healing course, which means like if you're a practitioner of some like hands-on healing modality yourself, or you have a official practice, and you want to get more professional at Seraphim healing, there is one more course. But we say you're a healer on day 1. If that's what you mean. In terms of qualifying to become a teacher of the system, you need to complete all 6 levels of the system. Each level is usually a 1-day course. One of the levels is a 2-day course. The level 6 is a 2-day course. They can't be shortened in time any shorter than 6 weeks. So if a teacher was teaching every weekend, by the end of 6 weeks, you would partially qualify to train to be a teacher of the system. We have hundreds of teachers now, especially in, again, Turkey, especially in the United States and Japan. Those are the most prominent numbers. We have 1 teacher in Germany. We have 1 teacher in the Philippines. We have 2 teachers in Thailand. We have 1 teacher in France, in Paris. These are all new teachers. And we have 1 teacher here in the United Kingdom, Sharon Giroud, which teacher I'll introduce later. Does that answer your question? Yes. Back there. No, you cannot be initiated through the book. The book just talks about my biographical, how did I meet this angel and what led up to it. That's about a third of the book. And then another third of the book is describing what the experience of the system is like, but just in English, description. And then about 1/6 of the book is channeling the Seraph and what he has to say about the world and, why this system is needed. That's what the book is.
So to do the initiations, it's via a teacher?
Yes, you need a teacher in order to study this system, correct. He's asking about what I mean by the stone vibrating in my hand. It wasn't like jumping up and down. It was energetically sending me very strong energy. So like you touching an electric wire or something. Okay? You're welcome. Well, how would it work to enroll? Sharon, do you want to? Where is Sharon? Come over here, please. Come over here, please, and tell her how to enroll.
Fantastic. So it's lovely to see everyone this evening. The enrolment for the UK courses is via www.sixwings.co.uk. It's a relatively new website. The information about the courses is all on there, and you just sign up and you'll be sent information about the venue and the date. The next course is going to be on the 21st of April in London, and if you're interested, please, I've got a notebook that's sending around to get your email addresses. Put your information in the notebook and I'll certainly send you out some more details.
Have, strong interest in spiritual growth, may already be feeling the angel, being aware of the power of this. This is possibly the most powerful healing modality available on planet Earth as of 2018, I would say. That's what I've been told by some psychics and by some clairvoyants, people and they have played with other energies, they're familiar with other systems and modalities, and they say this is about the strongest thing they've ever experienced in their lives. The angel is in the book. Yeah, and, certainly I don't want to put it on the internet, so the name of the angel is in the book. The question is regarding the healing efficacy of the system, of the energies. There have many, many miraculous stories surrounding these energies. The Seraph has been giving out these energies for 24 years. In that time, we have lots of student practitioners. They come back and write me testimonials. Some of the testimonials are on the website. In regards to cancer, sometimes there's a complete healing using these energies, but often a person has already gone through chemo and radiation and other things. So we don't make any promises regarding cancer. That's dangerous. But having said that, I know personally, having worked with several people myself as a healer, I've extended, or with the angel's help and with the energy's help, basically. We don't have to call on the angel. The energies are stored in our bodies. With the energy's help, we have delayed the demise of these patients. They lived a lot longer than they were ever expected to live. A patient, a good friend of mine in Tokyo, had breast cancer. She was told at such and such a time to go into hospice. The doctors were finished with her. And she told me that a year later, because I was sending energy to her distantly, and she lived like another 4 years. That was after she was told to go into hospice. So it has a major effect on really serious illnesses, but it also depends on the willingness of the person receiving the energy. It depends on their karma. It depends on a lot of other factors. Are they willing to change their diet and their lifestyle to facilitate the experience, the healing? Some people want to go via very serious illnesses. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Thank you. Yes. In day one, which is called Seraphim Healing, and you walk out of there, if you already have some gifts in regards to distant healing, the question was about distant healing on day one, yes, you will be able to send this energy distantly on days. If you're okay, the question is, if you're already qualified in a different angelic healing modality, does it matter to train in this area? As a student of the Seraphim Blueprint, it doesn't matter that you are already a master of some other modality. You can certainly separate out this experience. You can also mix and match. After you have an understanding of these energies, you can then play around. But first you need to understand what the power of these energies are, and then you can decide how much of each you want to contribute to your whole healing practice. But you can definitely mix it up. Next question behind her. How much was my life transformed by meeting this angel? I would say that it was completely transformed. I met my husband through meeting this angel. I'm now a citizen of 2 countries, I think, because of this angel. I'm an Australian and an American citizen. What else? And I have thousands of students, and that's very rewarding at my age, I'm getting up there. So I would say it's completely transformed through this experience. And I think that's true for all of the teachers and students of the system who really want to practice this, who really want to use the energies. I mean, you could get the energies from the angel because you get them passively, but it's a question, do you practice it? Or it has some benefit just being stored in your body, waiting to be used. Just like you have some benefit from having angels in your aura, your normal set of angels, 3 or 4 angels, you have some benefit. But if you actively talk to those angels, you actively ask them questions when you go to sleep at night and see what the answer is by morning, then you get a lot more benefit. So being initiated into this energy is good, but it's even better if you practice using the energy.
Would it be like spelling?
Okay, he's asking me about my psychic abilities and channeling the Seraph, basically. Yeah, I'm a strong psychic now. I'm very, very highly qualified as a psychic. So it doesn't take much thought on my part to figure out what the direction of the conversation with the Seraph is going in. That would be my answer. Other questions? I think we'll wrap up maybe the question and answer part of this, unless somebody has a very... This initiation you all are about to experience. If you want to, you can close your eyes and say no thank you, or you can close your eyes and be receptive to this energy. This is the very first initiation of the whole system. It is part of level 1 Seraphim healing, so it's one of the 12 energies that you receive when you actually sign up for a workshop. So you'll get a complete initiation tonight, because I think this is a special group, because I'm launching this in the United Kingdom. Normally we just give a taste of the energy, but I want you all to have the full initiation so you understand the power of this angel. It takes about 6 to 8 minutes. And yeah, I'd like you to, of course, have your cell phones turned off. And I'd like you to remove watches or anything binding the body. And by the way, we're going to have a kind of raffle. We'll talk about that a little bit later, I think, to give away 2 other books that I've written. So if you stick around for that, that will be worth it. Powerful energy, so it might push through chakra blockages, things like that. It's going to come in through the crown chakra. Okay? Any other questions before we start the experience? All right? We're good? Return to the room. The experience. How many felt something happening in this experience? Angel, an order of angels. You're asking who is a seraphim? They're an order of angels. Like you have archangels, you have angels, you have seraphim, cherubim, thrones, virtues, powers, principalities. These are orders of angels.
I hope that answers the question. Basic question. Any other questions or comments? Anybody see the angel?
Felt a big pressure on them.
That's the energy pushing in. I hope it didn't hurt. Was
No,
it
no,
was
no.
comfortable?
It's fine.
Was comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's angelic energy pushing. I said it was like a download, so you need to be receptive. If you have any blockages in your chakras, then you might feel some pressure like that. That's what I suspect, but I cannot know exactly what that pressure is. Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for coming. I'll be signing books, I don't know where. I really want to thank the audience for participating in this experience. I love being here in England and in London to share this all with you. And I hope you do take the course, of course, and buy the book. Thank you very much for being here.